What if your DNA carried the echoes of a story thousands of years in the making? A story woven from ancient migrations, forgotten kingdoms, and lost trade routes. For millions of Filipinos, this isn't just imagination, it's genetic reality. Across more than 7,000 islands, every community in the Philippines speaks with its own language, culture, and rhythm of life. Yet beneath this diversity lies a shared mystery. Where did the Filipino people truly come from? For centuries, historians and archaeologists searched for answers through legends and artifacts, but today, it's genetics that is revealing the deeper truth, and the discoveries are reshaping everything we thought we knew. By studying ancient DNA, scientists have traced the Filipino genome across thousands of years and vast oceans. Their findings reveal a web of prehistoric migrations, links to seafaring peoples of Asia, and traces of contact with empires long vanished. Every strand of Filipino DNA carries a fragment of this incredible journey, a living record written in blood, not ink. The first footprints. The story begins tens of thousands of years ago. Long before written history, the first humans reached the Philippine Islands, roughly 50,000 years ago. Genetic research connects them to the first wave of humans who migrated out of Africa, crossing ancient land bridges and coastal routes into Southeast Asia. These early settlers, known today as Negritos, were small, dark-skinned hunter-gatherers who thrived in the tropical landscapes of the islands. Their descendants, the Ita, Agta, and Batak peoples, still carry some of the most ancient human DNA in all of Asia, but the Negritos were not alone in shaping the Filipino genome. The Austronesian arrival. Around 4,000 years ago, a new wave of voyagers arrived, the Austronesians. Skilled sailors from Taiwan, they navigated vast stretches of ocean, settling across the Pacific and Indian Oceans, from the Philippines to Polynesia and Madagascar. They brought with them advanced farming, pottery, and boat-building skills, giving rise to more organized and complex island communities. Modern genetic studies show that most Filipinos today carry a mix of Negrito and Austronesian ancestry, with Austronesian genes forming the dominant part. But what's fascinating is how these two groups blended. Rather than one replacing the other, they intermarried over generations, creating a rich and resilient genetic mosaic. That ancient mixing became the foundation of Filipino identity, a blend that explains why people from different islands may look distinct, yet share deep genetic bonds. A crossroads of migration. The Philippines has always been a meeting point, a crossroads for travelers, traders, and settlers. After the Negritos and Austronesians came new waves of migration from across Asia. Groups from what is now Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia brought fresh cultural practices, languages, and genetic markers. These influences enriched the existing gene pool, especially in Luzon and the Visayas. For over 1,000 years, Chinese merchants from southern China also sailed to the islands for trade. Many settled, married locals, and became part of the community. Today, traces of Chinese ancestry can be found in countless Filipino families, a genetic reflection of centuries of trade and kinship. The story doesn't stop there. Genetic evidence also reveals South Asian, Middle Eastern, and even European influences, reminders of ancient commerce, the spread of Islam, and later, colonial rule. Each new connection added another layer to the Filipino genome, shaping a people who would become one of the most genetically diverse in the world. The Spanish era, a new chapter. In the 16th century, a dramatic new chapter began. Spanish explorers arrived, forever altering the island's cultural and genetic landscape. For more than 300 years, the Philippines existed under Spanish rule. Genetic studies show traces of European ancestry, mostly Spanish and Portuguese, particularly in cities like Manila and Cebu where colonists settled. But the Spanish didn't come alone. Through the Manila-Acapulco Galleon Trade, the Philippines was linked to Mexico and the Americas. Soldiers, sailors, and settlers from across Latin America intermarried with locals, leaving subtle genetic imprints still detectable today. Colonization also changed society itself, shaping names, religion, and family structures. Yet through all this, the Filipino people didn't lose their roots. They adapted, absorbed, and transformed foreign influences into something uniquely their own. The result, a heritage that blends East and West, ancient and modern, a living symbol of resilience. Threads from the wider world. While Spain left its mark, centuries of trade with Asia continued to weave new threads into the Filipino genetic fabric. Chinese, Indian, Arab, and Malay merchants brought not only goods but also ideas, technologies, and genes. Indian influences can still be traced in parts of Mindanao and the Visayas, reflected in ancient kingdoms that once thrived there. These exchanges helped shape Filipino spirituality, architecture, and even early systems of governance. The Philippines was never isolated, it was a dynamic hub connected to a vast maritime world. And this openness created a nation defined not by purity, but by diversity and adaptation. A legacy in our blood. Today, modern science continues to uncover the astonishing complexity of Filipino DNA. Studies show connections stretching across East and Southeast Asia, the Pacific, South Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas. Yet despite this extraordinary mix, Filipinos have held onto a powerful sense of identity, rooted in land, language, and shared history. DNA may tell us where we came from, but culture tells us who we are. And together, they form a story of survival, movement, and endless evolution. Each Filipino carries within their genes echoes of ancient voyagers, traders, warriors, and dreamers. Their DNA is a map of history, a record of how countless generations crossed oceans, built communities, and endured. The genetic story of the Filipino people is still unfolding. New discoveries are rewriting what we know, revealing that the Philippines isn't just a nation of islands. It's a living testament to the resilience and interconnectedness of humankind. Because in the end, our blood remembers what history forgets. And within that memory lies the timeless story of the Filipino people, written not on paper, but in the very code of life itself.